Because the love of God is infinite and unconditional, it can be difficult for us to understand or to know it. It surpasses our knowledge and understanding. And when that happens, I like when this one priest said, we fall into sin because we forget the marvels the Lord does for us. We're forgetful. We're humans. We can easily forget. Just as the Psalm said to us today, God who inflames our souls with fire of love, right? And we can forget about that reality and fall into sin. And so it's important for us to recognize that immediately, because if we don't, and if we allow that to grow in our lives, then of course we become rebellious or stubborn or act out of our own egos and let that take over in ways in which we might not even realize. We can't help ourselves, but we can catch ourselves with the grace of God. And so not only happens to us, but also we can be well aware of our brothers and sisters for whom this happens as well. As Jesus is telling us in the gospel today, 3 methods into which we can offer fraternal correction with charity and truth to ourselves and to our brothers and sisters. There's a way in which we come to reconciliation with God if we're going to serve love and truth. Because brothers and sisters, like for instance, the case of excommunication, the reason why we have that is for a healing purpose, if it ever comes to it. It's so that the individual, each one of us, can reflect on the harm that's being done, giving us that space and time to come to terms with God's love that surpasses all understanding and knowledge, so that we can in turn come back and return into communion with the church. That's the purpose, the healing purpose of even excommunication, but ultimately of fraternal correction. We notice too, towards the end of the gospel, Jesus says, if they don't understand even the church, if we don't understand even the church, then treat them as you would a Gentile or a tax collector. But we ask ourselves, what does that mean? What was Jesus' attitude towards the Gentiles or the tax collectors? It was scandalous for him to be able to dine with tax collectors and sinners, it's reported. So too for ourselves, brothers and sisters, we must ask for the grace to check ourselves, check our hearts, our intentions. The love of God is always going to challenge us because it's infinite, and it always requires of us growth because we're finite. But see, that's the consolation, that each day is a new beginning, a fresh new beginning with that mercy of God that always extends the dreams, the desires, our projects, our imaginations, our motivations to grow into that love which God guides his whole creation with. And so today, brothers and sisters, we ask for that grace, that even in fraternal correction, we realize that there is a healing remedy behind it, because that's who God is for us, that's who God is with us, and that's what God is calling us to be ourselves with one another.